Well, it seems like more and more Americans are getting on board with the Make America Great and Make America Healthy train. To help me go through some of the biggest stories in America, I have Kim Bright with me. Kim, thank you for joining me again.
Well, it's always great to be with you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one thing that I wanted to point out with you is, according to CNBC, a large majority of Americans now want to support Donald Trump. They say, give him the runway to see what he can do to make the country better. Do you think a lot of people suddenly woke up and realized that they had been hoodwinked by the mainstream media and Democrat lies? Or why do you think people are suddenly saying, let's try this MAGA agenda out and see if we can make the country better?
Well, I think, the truth ultimately comes out always. And you can only lie to people for so long before they finally go, wait a minute. And they put two and two together and say, wait a minute, they're telling me 2 and 2 is 5. And then the next time they tell me 2 and 2 is 8. No, this is not working for me. 2 and 2 is actually 4. I actually started researching. No, I think people, you can only deny and agree with lies for so long, deny the truth and agree with lies for so long. And I think that's what's happening. And when, Trump is so out there in their faces, and so is Elon, and so is Vivek, and all the people that he has surrounding him are outspoken people about telling the truth. And so how can you avoid that? How can you continue to go along with the demon rat's lies? You can't. It's like you either wake up or you go hide in your cave for another 4 years and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you can fool people for a certain amount of time, but I think now with the internet and with independent news channels like mine and others, you just get, your eyes opened. But I personally thought, okay, he's now won. The mainstream media, they're going to double down on making him look like Hitler. The Democrats are going to do everything they can to block him. And I still think he has an uphill battle, but it's the people that are coming out going, wait a minute, America was heading in the wrong direction. We need to be focused on family. We need to be focused on our own citizens, making our country great again, healthy again. It's kind of fun to watch the American people go, wait a minute, I want excellence. I want a great country. I want to take care of my fellow citizen. I don't know. Don't you feel like there's an optimism in the air?
Oh, definitely. I felt the black cloud lift the day after the election. And, they want competence. We've had no competent people ruling us. It's kind of like, what happened? Where did competence go? Actually getting the job done and not stealing from the people and, sending all these billions of dollars everywhere else when people are suffering here. No, it's crazy town we've been living in for the last, 4 years, and people don't like it. They realize, wow, no, I don't like it here. I would rather be in sane town. And Trump's bringing us sanity, and he's bringing the truth. And it's wonderful that this is happening to us.
Yeah. Right before the November 5th election, there was a private phone call between RFK Jr. and Donald Trump that was leaked, where President Trump is saying, we got to protect our children from big pharma. We've got to change the food. We've got to investigate why so many people are chronically ill. The mainstream media leaked that, thinking that the American people would be like disgusted that he would question medical authority and big pharma. And I think it backfired. Don't you think a lot of Americans are now going, wait a minute, my food is poisoning me? Maybe big pharma is focused more on profits than people. What are your thoughts on that?
Most definitely. I think, again, the light is shining on the truth rather than the lies. And so they were trying to constantly misdirect us over to all these lies and untruths. And now it's being shown they're greedy. It's all about the money, the control, the power. And so therefore, President Trump's coming in with his troops behind him, and they're going to set things right. And people have woken up. I mean, with RFK Jr. coming in, and he has so much background in, when he's been a lawyer and investigating environmental problems, and then things with the health of our children, and obesity, and all these, and diabetes, and all these things. He's very, very well versed in all of this. So when you can shine the light, and there were a lot of people that were backing him, and when he stepped over into President Trump's realm here, he brought a lot of people with him, and so that's helped wake other people up. And even the people on the far left and the media that were pushing all these lies, I mean, they've got some hell to pay to who upstairs. And I think that maybe they're realizing, especially after the assassination attempts, and God's got his hand on President Trump, and people are waking up, and maybe we're bringing some godliness back into this country, and morals, and competence, like I said, like important pillars, and health, really looking at our health. All of these things are going to be building a strong America back, and be building our health back.
Yeah. You're down there in Florida. Florida continues to use a megaphone when it comes to making America great and healthy again. House Representative Paulina Luna of Florida calls for a ban on seed oils, high fructose corn syrup, and other highly processed additives. Do you think that RFK Jr. and Representative Paulina Luna and others will be able to overcome the billions of dollars that big agra and big pharma spend in order to convince people to let them continue to poison them?
Well, they're going to expose these and try and change the laws, I'm sure, with that through Congress. However, who's it really up to is us. We are responsible for our own health. We are responsible for our own choices. God gave us free choice. And there are evil intentions out there, and there are good intentions. So when you look at all your foodstuffs that you're buying in a store, and you see corn syrup as the first ingredient, or the second ingredient, or the third ingredient, you're being poisoned. Corn syrup has caused so many problems in our health. We don't need to be eating that kind of stuff. And so it's up to us to decide, are we going to pay money to buy things that are loaded with corn syrup, loaded with sugar, loaded with artificial flavors, artificial colors, or are we actually going to spend money on real food? Are we actually going to send the message to these big agri companies, big food companies, that tell them, and pharma companies, I don't want to be sick anymore. I don't want to be on that wheel that the gerbils run on. I'm tired of it. I don't want to eat and then not feel good, and then now I've got to take drugs, and now I've got to go get surgeries, or I've got to go on Ozempic or something like that, to lose weight. I want to pull my freedom back. I want to get my freedom back, my freedom of choice, and I want to make right choices. I want to eat real food that is grown in real soil, not filled with artificial fertilizers and herbicides and pesticides. I want to eat food that has a healthy microbiome that it's grown in. The soil has been treated with care. There are good organisms growing there, good bacteria growing there that are feeding the plants, and then the animals that eat the plants, like our cattle and our chickens and our goats. And I want that kind of food. And that food doesn't have artificial colors, artificial flavors, and loaded with corn syrup. So we, the people, need to make the right choices and start and show the dollar counts, because that's what these big corporations, Stephen, that's what it's all about. If their bottom line starts suffering, look what happened with Target when they were promoting all that pride stuff, and they were promoting the things the majority of people shopping there didn't want that. So your dollar speaks, people. Realize that. Start buying the things that is going to create health in you, and stop buying those processed items. I can't even call them food. Just stop doing it. Just stop. Even if you just change once a week, stop. And that will get to them. That will get to their pocketbooks, and they will change.
Yeah, there's this idea of a boycott. There's this new idea of a boycott, right? Where we're now being trained. Oh, wait a minute. You can actually vote with your dollar if you stop buying this and you start buying this, then these people wake up and go, oh, wait a minute. If we want to stay in business, we have to go where the money is, right?
Yep.
And
Right.
that, that Target example you brought up is so good. It's like, okay, as a Christian, I don't need Target to sell Jesus Saves t-shirts but to start selling my kids stuff about Satan, like, no thanks. I'm not going to be buying from you guys. If
That's
you're
right.
promoting, this horned devil and saying Satan loves me and different things like that, like, I'm out. I'll go shop somewhere else. I don't need that in my life.
Yeah, we don't need that in our films, in our movies, in our TV shows. Start paying attention, wake up, and get the junk out of every aspect of our life and out of our children's lives. We'll all be healthier mentally and physically for it. So use your dollars to speak to these people that are trying to do evil things to us.
Yeah. Okay. This is from a gastroenterologist, Dr. Sabi Hazen, one of the smartest women in America. She happens to be a gut doctor, so a gastro specialist. She said most of Americans' health problems start in their gut. She also said one of her worries is she has learned that most of the people running the FDA today have no nutritional or medical background.
Yep.
Like, that's terrifying. So the people supposedly keeping Americans safe by making sure that drugs are good, food is good, the chemicals they're spraying on our food and on our produce and stuff is good. Give me your thoughts on what she's saying about the importance of gut health.
She's hit the nail on the head. That is where everything starts. I just said a few minutes ago about buy the vegetables and fruits that are growing on good soil that has a healthy microbiome. Well, we have a microbiome in our gut. What is a microbiome? It is the home for trillions of different compounds and good bacteria and fungus and yeast that are keeping in balance and keeping us healthy. And so everything starts with our gut, Stephen. Our heart health, our brain health. Our brain even has its own microbiome. Our skin has a microbiome. So think with this. If we're eating foods that are grown in these incredible soils that have been composted and taken care of lovingly, and they have this healthy microbiome that's teeming with all of these healthy bacteria that are going to make our gut bacteria grow and flourish and keep that balanced, we're going to be so much better off eating those kind of foods. And then the same thing, our skin is going to be healthy. Our brain is going to be healthy. We're going to have a healthier heart. We're going to have healthier liver. We're going to have healthy kidneys because everything ties back to the gut. That's the foundation. That is the core of our body. And so we have to look at gut health first. I said this on TV 25 years ago when I was on a live TV show in Dallas, Fort Worth area. And the owner of the station came down afterwards and said, I'm not sure if we can air that or not. You said that everything starts in your gut. What's your science to back that up? And after I explained things to him, he was fine with it. But that wasn't the thinking back then. And I was talking way, over the heads of a lot of people at that point. But now science is proving that. Science has proven it in the soil, and science is proving it in our gut, because our gut is connected with everything. And when we keep that healthy, that's what it's all about. So she's spot on.
Yeah. It's kind of weird to think that like our colon is full of bacteria, right? Because we use like antibacterial soap and we take antibiotics and all this anti, and yet if you don't have a gut that is full of healthy bacteria, you don't digest correctly. You get buildup in the colon. I just learned this year. A lot of people think the serotonin, the chemical in our brain that makes us happy, is all made in the brain. A lot of it is made in the gut.
That's right. And again, antibiotic means against life. Probiotics, which are in our gut, healthy bacteria, are for life. So when you take an antibiotic, you're killing off the bad bacteria, but you're also killing off your good bacteria. So as you take more and more antibiotics, you are killing the microbiome. It's going in a downward spiral. And so many people have grown up using so many antibiotics. It's killed off the majority of their healthy bacteria in the microbiome and the other healthy compounds that are there. So it is vital. And the things that we're using on our skin, we have a microbiome there. So if you're not just using regular soaps, if you're using these antibacterial soaps, you're destroying your microbiome there as well. You know, I have a little story to tell you that's really interesting. Back during the bubonic plague, there were a group of people that after people died in the towns, they went in and they robbed all of their jewelry and all of their valuables, and they came out, and these guys didn't get sick. They did not die. And people were like, what did they do? What did they do? Well, they created something called thieves oil. And thieves oil, you can make it yourself today. It's clove oil and lemon oil and rosemary oil and eucalyptus. And there's another ingredient I can't think of right now. But they rubbed this all over them when they went in for the bubonic plague. Now, why does this work? It's plant phenols. And plants have this innate system in their immune system that creates these plant phenols that then don't allow the bad pathogens in. That's the same thing in our gut. God has given us these wonderful trillions of different coexisting bacterias, good and bad, but we have to keep them in balance, and fungus and yeasts and things grow there too. But when we're eating the plant phenols from the plants, these guys didn't take drugs. They didn't take all these drugs to make themselves better. They weren't around. They used traditional methods, and we've forgotten those, Stephen, and we need to get back to those and really, really hone up our gut so it's extremely healthy, because 70 to 80% of our immune system is in our gut.
Yeah. Well, I can just imagine at some point, things that used to work for thousands of years, big pharma was like, oh, wait a minute, we can't make money off of that. We've got to demonize that so that we can profit from this thing. I mean, like a good example of that is during the lockdowns, they start telling us, oh, wait a minute. Doctors found 15 pre-existing medications that actually help with you not getting sick from the COVID-19 virus. And yet Fauci says, none of those are good. The only thing that works is Pfizer and Moderna, right? And so we get railroaded through the medical system versus saying, okay, wait a minute. How am I going to boost my immune system? How am I going to get healthier? Do I need more sleep? Do I need more sunshine? Do I need more vitamin D? We stopped focusing on making our body strong, and instead we've just basically outsourced all of our health to Moderna and Pfizer. I mean, when we lived through that, was that something that you thought about?
Of course it was. I mean, there were so many other solutions to pay attention to making our immune system healthy, our gut healthy, rather than taking a drug that is going to alter the symptom into another symptom and again send us down that downward spiral. That's all Western drugs, medicine can do, is they take that symptom, change it into another symptom. That lasts so long. Now you got to change the drug again. You come back in, the doctor writes you a different script the next time. And so it's just you get on this whole machine and you can't get off until you decide this isn't working for me. What is this really all about? I can't just keep changing symptom into another symptom and feeling worse and worse and needing more surgeries or this or that. When you understand what your body needs and what you need to put into it to keep it healthy and to boost that immune system, that's when you get freedom from this other road that you've been on. But it does take a desire and a decision to change over to that and do your own investigating and try and find out how your body works and what's important to put in there. But the gut is the beginning. The gut is the core. And that's what it's really about, is paying attention to that. What foods can I eat? What foods can I eat to put in there? And, fermented foods, all over the world, there's been in traditional diets, fermented foods. You've had sauerkraut in Germany. You have pickles in Israel. You have kimchi in Korea. And this is when you ferment different vegetables together, what happens is you're preserving it, but you're creating compounds in there that really feed the good bacteria in your gut. And kimchi is the king of all fermented foods, far better than regular pickles or sauerkraut. Those are all great foods too. You can eat those, you can make them homemade. But the key thing here is let's start putting back in and using the highest, best that we can to restore our gut. And kimchi has over 900 different probiotics in it and strains that don't exist anywhere. They don't exist in sauerkraut. They don't exist in pickles. They don't exist in any other fermented foods or any other foods anywhere. So kimchi is one of the things that is so vital to have on an everyday basis for good gut health and to really boost that microbiome.
Yeah. So I've been taking your kimchi one for about 60 days now. I noticed movement right away, feeling better right away. You said there's 900 strains of different bacterias.
Over 900, yes, have been studied.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but are there strains of bacteria that American guts are missing, or is this just like fertilizer to get those growing again? Is it both?
It's both, because depending on what your diet's been, if you've been eating a tremendous amount of processed foods, fast foods, sugar, things that kill off the good bacteria in your microbiome and the other good compounds that are down there, then yes, you are going to have to replace those again. And then you need to encourage the few that are left in your gut to grow and to expand their colonies. So it's vital that you eat this fermented food in order to get that job done. Now, if you've been eating healthily and you've been eating organic foods, and you still need to nourish your gut and your microbiome every day with fermented foods. Now, you might not need to, take fermented foods as much as the other person that's destroyed his gut by eating, and unknowingly he did that. I mean, he thought that these things are fine because the government approved, these foods, they're on the shelf, they must be okay. So I'm not trying to blame anybody for the choices they've made, but once you understand what the choices are and what they can do to you, they can either harm your gut or they can help increase the health of the gut. And kimchi is going to do that. And kimchi one is our product that we were able to take. And a lot of people, we were able to take that in a special cold process and take the kimchi and put it into a capsule so it's convenient and easy for you to take every day. And it doesn't have the smell and it doesn't have the taste that a lot of Americans aren't used to. And people will ask me, what happens when you do that? Don't you lose some things with that? And I say no, because the way we process it, we're able to maintain the prebiotics, which is the fiber. We're able to maintain those live probiotics, and we're able to maintain the postbiotics, which is the result of the probiotics eating the fiber, the prebiotic. And then it gives us all these good things in the end, which is amino acids and enzymes and B vitamins and vitamin K and short chain fatty acids, which help those good bacteria grow and grow and grow. And so it's very vital to our gut to get food into it like this. And the kimchi, you can make your own kimchi, that's for sure. And if you want to do that, but if you want the convenience and you want the same results with taking a pill every day, then that's what kimchi one is.
Yeah, like you said, I'm not used to the flavor. I'm not used to the smell. So when I encounter it, it's like, oh my gosh, no, thank you. Right. Like I'll continue just limping along with my bad health. But I remember, Kim, several years ago, I got a really horrible infection in my nose, a staph infection. And they put me on 3 different antibiotics because I was at risk of losing my nose. I mean, crazy, right? But I remember the doctor saying, okay, you're going to want to like eat a bunch of yogurt to rebuild your gut bacteria. And I remember looking online, it was like, yeah, there's a little bit, but there's so much sugar now in different yogurts that it's not a good way. Would the kimchi one, would that be a good way after antibiotics or sickness to help get that gut going again?
Oh, most definitely. In fact, I've had people, because, I counseled over 15,000 people. I've been at this, I started Brightcore 28 years ago, but I've been helping people with their health for almost 50 years now. So when I was making homemade kimchi every day and people had sinus problems, a friend of mine had sinus problems, I said, dip a Q-tip in the kimchi sauce and stick it up your nose. See what happens. It's got all those friendly bacteria that are going up there. Yeah, it might burn a little bit, but guess what? She'd been taking all these antibiotics and she was even scheduled for surgery and everything. Didn't happen because the kimchi took it all away. The sinus infections were gone. And she was ingesting it inside too. So yes, it's very valuable. The other thing too is, when you've been eating all these foods that are containing all these additives and chemicals, you need to detox from them. You even need to detox from sugar. A lot of people don't realize how close sugar, molecularly white sugar, processed white sugar, is to cocaine. So when that's why, kids eat it and they're sped up, it's like taking speed. So, and then people get used to it. They normalize with, this drug. It's basically a drug. So you need to detox these things from your body as well. And kimchi does a wonderful job detoxing. And it's not something that you don't have to worry about that, oh, I'm going to be on the toilet forever, or I'm not going to feel good, or no, it does it gently, but it does the job.
Yeah, no, I can give a personal witness of how much better I feel. In fact, my wife was not feeling well the other day. I said, listen, just load up on this stuff. I think you'll end up feeling better. I'm going to try that up the nose stuff. Right now we're going into Christmas time, but basically from like Halloween until the first week in New Year's, people are eating more than normal. A lot of it is sugary, buttery, a lot more alcohol consumption.
Yes.
As people move into the new year, they want to reset those health goals, be healthy, avoid sickness. I just want to recommend that they do some research on the power of kimchi. Now, you guys have a great offer for my community. If people buy 2 bottles of kimchi, they're going to get 1 free. Is that right?
That is right. And we want you guys to call in and speak to our educated staff. You can go online and order, but we are really incentivizing you to call us because we want to make sure that this is the right thing for you. You feel good about it. And when you call in, if you're the first 100 caller, within the first 100 callers, we're going to give you another free gift. Not only are you going to get that buy 2, get 1 free kimchi one, but we're going to give you our Radiance, our vitamin D3, which is an adjunct to good immunity as well. It really helps with our immune system. So you're going to get that free bottle of vitamin D3 if you're the first 100 to call in, and you get up to 50% off by speaking with our educated staff. And we're also going to throw in free shipping. So please call 888-908-4425 and speak to them, and you're going to get that 50% off, and you can share it. It's a great Christmas gift. Merry Christmas to everybody. Your core gut, where it all starts, the cause of your health or the cause of your decline in health. Pay attention to that. Give the gift of health this year by giving somebody kimchi. So call in and get that up to 50% off, free shipping, and that free vitamin D3. 888-908-4425.
Yeah, I was telling my wife, I said, buy 2, get 1 free is really generous. I said, I wonder if Brightcore realizes that when people call in, they actually get a better price. And she said, they know what they're doing. So anyway, it's an extremely generous offer. And I appreciate you doing that. The main reason I like having you on is you are an America First American. You're a business owner. I always love picking the brain of business owners because everything runs on an economy, right? And we need a really strong economy. But then with this health journey that I've had to go through personally, I've just been learning so much about health. And with RFK Jr. coming in and saying, hey, if you're terminally ill, we want the right to try. Hey, if you want to do stem cells, we want you to try them. Hey, we got to get the poison out of our food. We've got to make sure that Americans understand how to be healthy. And so anyway, I'm just really, really optimistic for the future. I just want to repeat that phone number for people. If you want to try out Kimchi One, call 888-908-4425 to make it easy. I'm going to put it down below. Buy two, get one free. If you call them, up to 50% off. First 100 people, you're going to get some vitamin D as well. So Kim, thank you so much for coming on. I know we've got Christmas coming up. You're going to be spending time with the kids and the grandkids. And so I appreciate you.
Yeah, we just made gingerbread cookies over the weekend, and it was great fun, just like I used to make with my grandma. So I had a blast with that. But thank you for having me on, as always. Have a blessed Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, and have a healthy Christmas. And please, let's make yourselves healthy first. Again, make the right choices, and let's start the new year right with President Trump and everybody that is surrounding him that's so wonderful. So let's have the greatest year ever and the healthiest year ever.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Same to you. All right. Hey, have a great rest of your day.
All right. Bye.